In 1987, there was an All-Star game, remember? And a guy we know.
I didn't realize Lee Ellis was on the pod today.
This is who I'm talking about. A guy literally on the other side of the planet discovered the NBA through the All-Star game. The All-Star game. This is the showcase. This is time for you, NBA players and stars, to showcase how great the fucking NBA is. So get off your ass, get out there, and play.
Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond and Is This Good Companion Pod, where I catch up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
Hello!
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming and producing the show. She says we may be in crusty mode. I don't know what that means. Rachel Doyle.
Oh, you gone now.
She's referring to me. She's referring to me.
Are you crusty mode like we got a little drip, drip, drip down your nose, or crusty mode old man in the sandlot?
That's right. Old man in the sandlot with a huge mastiff that everybody's scared of, and that's how I like it.
I mean, I just had my flu shot yesterday, so I'm in minor crusty mode.
Oh, wow. You're just in the nick of time for flu season.
I don't know. I've been hearing it's we got 4 things out there, JD.
Yes, the
COVID,
the quademic or whatever.
We got the flu. We got RSV. What's the 4th thing we have? Oh, norovirus.
Oh, I was going to say genital warts, but that's always going around.
That's always there.
Yeah.
But, why, if they could make a vaccine that doesn't make you a little bit sick, I think more people would be.
So you're saying you're feeling the effects of the flu vaccine?
I always do. Like when you go and they say you may feel some flu-like symptoms for 24 to 36 hours, and I say I will be. And maybe you're saying, well, thinking you will be is the first step to. But I just always. I didn't even know that she had inserted this needle into my arm. I embarrassed myself at the CVS in Glendale yesterday because I felt her. Like I sat down in the chair and I'm sort of facing forward. She's flanking me to my left, and I feel her touch my arm, and then she goes, okay, and I go, yep, the left one, and she goes, yep, and I go, right, and she's like, yeah, no, we're done. And I was like, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, lady. Well, I didn't say this part out loud, but I didn't even feel it prick me. That's how good she was.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what I want.
So sorry, it sounded like you had a criticism for this person, but
well. Let me think of one. I guess, if you don't even feel it, then...
Did it happen?
Did it happen,
Oh, wow. Interesting. You think they're rationing the flu shots over there, and they're like, okay, there you go. Pretending to give it to you.
I will tell you this. She put the Band-Aid on right away, and I did think... There's no blood there, so why are you putting that on? What are you trying to hide, lady? And then I didn't want to rip it off in front of her and check for that telling red dot. But when I got to the car, I did, and I was like, oh, she seems to have injected me, so that's...
Are you just good. Numb lately to things?
Immune. Maybe I've been getting so many allergy shots that it just doesn't faze me.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But so, JD, what crusty mode you are just angry?
Just things falling apart. Everything's all over the place over here.
Everything's falling apart.
Your face is a little rosy, like you got just post-rage mode.
Oh, you think? Oh, no.
You see, this is what I'd expect from you if you had just been to All-Star Weekend and you traveled and then you were stuck in the hotel room in your Adobe Premiere while everyone else was gallivanting around the city, and then you would come back, you would inevitably get a cold on the flight, you'd be upset because someone touched your bag in the overhead compartment and you were going to scream, I should have just checked it anyways. Anyway, this is what I expect. You didn't even go, so shouldn't you be at the peak of your powers right now?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You just gave me some well-needed perspective.
Okay.
Because, I could have, 5 hours there, 5 hours back, I think, not including all the airport stuff. So, it's, we were annoyed not to go to All-Star, but also kind of like, hey, man, we had a little pizza party here in the Classic Factory, so it was fine.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, because you're a mukbang freak.
I'm like, oh, they're eating pizza? Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
What did you say? Oh, I think I'll start producing that show too.
Yeah, like, hold on. She hip checked me out of there and said, eat more, guys. Eat more.
Yeah.
Our show never has pizza on it. People say that's the one thing it's missing is people eating into a microphone.
Yeah, well.
Morza.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, we just heard that on The Greater Good.
You did.
Patreon.com/isthisgood, where we're putting up every week a cute little thing, I think is the best way to describe
sure.
it.
Exactly. That's a great way to describe it. Just a cute little thing.
A topic we haven't discussed on the show, a theory we have, something we've been thinking about, and the last one, you and Rachel did a Valentine's Day farmer's market treats taste test.
Yep, that's a great way of describing it.
Yeah, but I think it was a little too boring. I think it needs to get.
You think it was too
No, way to sell
Okay,
it.
way to
Jesus
sell it,
Christ.
baby.
No, the food we were eating. The
Oh,
food we
good
were eating.
save.
I'm sorry,
I totally believe you.
No, I was talking about the food. Like, we need to have more interesting foods, like something disgusting. Like, I don't know.
You want to fear factor it up.
Like, Lawrence was like, come on, the food.
Yeah.
You could get a little bit
A
more
little,
exciting with
little
the food.
more adventurous, I think.
But I think that was perfect for you because I knew you were going to be grossed out by.
Well, the mystery was, I thought that's where you were going. I thought you were going to give me like crickets, that kind of thing. But whatever, it was fine.
But JD, you can't taste for shit. That was my takeaway.
Oh.
You couldn't taste what popcorn was.
I know.
How?
Listen,
Popcorn, one of the most recognizable flavors and recognizable textures.
again, as I said on the greater what's it called again?
The Greater Good.
Greater Good.
All right, Rachel says it sucks. You don't even know the name.
As
You
we-
guys were the ones that asked to do this.
As I said on the cute little thing we did, I was just getting over the flu. No flu shot over here. So I was
way to
having
be a
hard
real
time.
man.
I was
You've been sick like 10 times this winter.
I know.
You've gotten all 4 of the quadra.
That's right.
Oh my
quadra-
God, yes.
That is correct. Anyway, yeah. Okay, I can't taste. I don't know what I'm tasting. Sorry, it was popcorn. It was a chocolate ball. There was popcorn in there.
You're giving away all the info.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Oh my
Spoiler
God,
alert.
Rachel.
They're never gonna guess. It was a.
How could they
complicated
guess, Rachel?
confection.
They're not trying it. What
Exactly.
are they going on?
He's holding it and he's eating it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't told them what it is. He's describing it.
Right.
They could
Right.
maybe.
It's
guess
better to know. You know what? This is one of those things where it's like, Bruce Willis is dead. Now you can watch the whole movie going, oh, wow, that's really cool how
That's
they
right.
made it look like he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
In this case, you'll know it's popcorn. You'll see JD struggling to understand
That's right.
what popcorn is.
It's infinitely more entertaining that way. Believe me.
How does he
What
not?
is this?
No, you were going like, yeah, oh, it's crickets, it's toffee, and then at the end, Rachel like, it's popcorn. I was like, how did you not? On Top Chef, which I watch,
Yes.
they do a blind taste test almost every season to determine some kind of like who's going to win the small challenge that maybe get immunity or something. So they'll bring them in and they'll blindfold them and they'll have them taste like, coriander versus flat leaf parsley or something like that.
Right.
And that can be quite hard because without looking at something, it is difficult to get a sense of what it might be, but you were looking directly into it.
Well, wait, you popped it right in. You popped it right in.
The first time I popped it in, and then finally I was like, all right, I need a cross section of this thing. So and I did come up with it. I just want to say that
Did you?
it didn't have. You were just like, look at it. What color is it? What shape is it? I'm like,
Yeah, you're giving yourself. What color is it? What shape is it? What activity that kids usually do is this often served at?
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't-
You'll
it wasn't
often see it on a Christmas tree. Hmm?
Oh, tinsel? Is this tinsel?
Is it-
I have got. Maybe this should be a greater good. Actually, this could be. I'm not saying it will be. Maybe we do a little stoner recipe corner here,
Oh, nice.
because you know how I live my life. Of I just don't have snacks in the house because I cannot control myself.
Yeah.
I know this isn't the healthy way to live.
Yeah.
I know I should be intuitive eating.
Yes.
I know I should, but I can't handle it
Okay.
right now.
There's
I
no
can't
judgment
either,
here. You don't
no.
have.
I know.
To, yeah.
I'm whatever. But so there's no snacks in the house. There's nothing prepackaged so that I can just easily grab it and mindlessly. Anything that's here, you got to put at least a few ingredients together to have something.
Okay.
And something that's worked out in my favor. I don't like baking. I'm not good at it. And I always feel like when I'm on the couch and it's 8, 9 o'clock, I'm like, yeah, it's going to take too long and it's too much effort.
Right.
And then I even experimented with like microwave desserts, like a mug cake. You ever had a mug cake?
No, I haven't because they kind of gross me out.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you could put these 3 ingredients and then press the 30-second button on the microwave, and now you'll have a cake. And it's like, do you? Because you have like a bittery cocoa blob in a cup. Like, it sucks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, I'm too smart, JD.
Yeah.
I'm prone to moments of inspiration, like Archimedes hopping out of that tub.
Yeah.
And I don't know what. I was looking at a pack of rice that we have in the house, and I was like, oh my God, rice pudding. I could be making rice pudding right now.
Yeah.
And you're making a face.
I don't like rice pudding, not my favorite, but
I don't like it either.
right.
I don't like it either. But in terms of like, you're at home, you're desperate, you're not leaving the house to go get a sweet treat. Mm-hmm. It's really good. I mean, this was my first try, and I fucking knocked it out of the park. Rice, everyone has rice, right?
Absolutely.
And I even had like a frozen Trader Joe's pack of rice. Okay. So that I didn't even have to wait the 30 minutes to make the rice. That was 2 minutes in the microwave. Milk, we have milk because Jill drinks it in her coffee. Mm-hmm. Eggs, we have eggs because we're fucking rich.
Wow.
And and we've been hoarding them. So
I didn't know you put eggs in rice pudding. I guess that's why it thickens.
You put 1 egg, butter, everyone has butter. And then a little extras, cinnamon, but everyone has cinnamon. It's a spice, it never goes bad.
Yeah.
Vanilla extract if you want to go crazy. But this thing's ready in like 8 minutes.
Huh. But it's
And
hot,
it's
though.
delicious. Well, it was a nice little porridge. And then I put it in the fridge, and then I was like, oh, well, my move is I try to put things in the fridge as quickly as possible so that it's not on the counter. So
I've seen Bake Off. Sure.
Evening out the corners until I finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then I went back and it was cold, and I was like, this is great too.
Wow.
Great both ways. So if you'd like my stoner rice pudding recipe,
I think you
hit
just
me up.
gave it to us, didn't you?
Well, I didn't tell you the quantities.
Oh, okay.
I'm saving that for the Patreon.
I've only ever made black rice pudding, which is really good.
Ooh
Is
la
that just
la.
with black
Rice with coconut milk, sugar.
Oh, this would be good with coconut. Yeah, a lot of subs. Like if you have cream, I mean, would this have been better with cream? Obviously, but
I feel like you're being healthy with that black rice.
it's not. No.
Why?
Black
Because
rice
of the
is no healthier.
antioxidants and the black.
Oh, God.
And
come on.
the fiber.
Huberman over here. Brown rice is apparently not even really at all healthier than white rice. We just pretend it is.
It's supposed to not have arsenic in it. I know. White rice is supposed to have
No.
arsenic.
Come on.
First of all, are you rinsing your rice?
Always.
Yeah, then you don't got nothing to worry about.
Well, I mean, I don't. I was told that even if you rinse it, it's. I don't understand.
whom?
Yeah, but it's in such
told
small
you?
quantity. Have you seen the Chinese, Rachel? Have you seen the Japanese?
I don't have a problem with it.
You think they're all dying of arsenic?
arsenic poisoning?
And
No,
they
they're
don't seem
immune
to
to
be.
it. Then they can have they can be poisoned by it and still survive, like in those.
I'm not
movies.
sure that's what's going on over there.
No.
I think they're just
I think
eating
they're
rice,
just
and
fine.
rice is totally fine.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right, so All-Star, I mean, All-Star seems just as tiring when you stay home. So now maybe next year you'll be like, we got to go, or else staying home. It's, you know how like when you're a parent, people say going away for a business trip is like a vacation because you're away from your kids? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what All-Star is for you. Maybe you needed it.
Perhaps. I mean, look, we did great numbers. Like, do we need to be there? I don't know.
Okay, and I'm speaking directly to my bosses at The Athletic here.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want them to know.
Listen, the All-Star break in general has a major problem, as we all know. But if you lose Jay Skeets, Taz Mellis, and Trey Kirby, you've lost Cronkite. It's over. You know what I mean? Like, if they're not into it, then goddamn, you got a big problem. And
so goes the nation.
And yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's funny. I was listening a bit to the, like you said, you were doing immediate post reactions, post All-Star Saturday, and then post the actual All-Star game, which I did not watch at all because it was SNL50.
Yeah, same.
And you didn't watch SNL50 because you were watching All-Star, or the reverse?
The
I'm
reverse.
really confused.
The reverse.
Not only did we not go to All-Star, but I didn't actually participate in any of the production of the shows.
For SNL50, we were in Brooklyn, or we were in New York. Was that 40 or 45? I think it was 40. Was it?
Well, the All-Star game in New York was, I think, 2015?
2015. Yeah. So that was 10 years. It was 40. And
yeah, you're right.
I watched it in my hotel room.
Oh.
Like while I was working.
The tradition continues.
The tradition continues, yeah. But yeah, listen, All-Star. Whew. You know, I mean, you can go over and hear all of the takes. But, you know, my take is, look, just fucking hire Cirque du Soleil and do the game, like have them do the game. You know what I mean? Like do an interpretation of their version of basketball on Sunday night. Because that's what we're doing now. We're a guy who's not even in the league won the dunk contest 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
3 years in a row. He's a professional
He
dunker.
is a two-way player, JD.
Okay. All right. I'm no disrespect to Mac McClung. I mean, the guy is a beast when it comes to dunking. He is a legit basketball player at the G League level. But if you can't get any of our stars in the NBA to do, and I mean stars, like they had these very long intro videos to the guys who are actually in the NBA because nobody knows who they fucking are. Like.
Yeah, but you know, this I do have a problem with. People can talk shit about Mac McClung. At least he's actually doing interesting stuff.
But he has time. He has.
But I'm saying. I mean, I didn't research this before, but I've been in NBA media for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Even in the quote unquote glory years of the dunk contest, there were always people that were the 12th man, 13th man on a roster doing the dunks.
Yeah.
James Flight White and the guy on the Jazz that painted a portrait of himself. What was that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about?
Off the top of my head, I can't. But yeah, you're
I'll
right about that.
Jeremy Evans, that was his
name. But you're talking about when you were in the game and when I was in the game prior to us entering the NBA landscape, which was about the same time as LeBron came in. Coincidence? I don't know. The first year that I was at All-Star, LeBron James said he was going in the dunk contest next year, and he has never done it. And that's a problem. Michael Jordan went in the fucking dunk contest, okay? Did Kobe go in the dunk contest?
I don't believe so.
Well, anyway, Kobe tried hard in the NBA All-Star game, okay? Right? If you go back, okay, in 1987 there was an All-Star game, remember? And a guy we know.
I didn't realize Lee Ellis was on the pod today.
This is who I'm talking about. A guy literally on the other side of the planet discovered the NBA through the All-Star game. The All-Star game. This is the showcase. This is time for you, NBA players and stars, to showcase how great the fucking NBA is. So get off your ass, get out there, and play. Play hard and sell this game because guess what? Ratings are down. Why are they down? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but you're not capturing the young people who want to watch the game. That's part of it. So fucking sell the game.
Ratings are down, but the TV deal was through the roof. So what do they fucking care? They know what they're making basically for, in BRI for the next 10 years. I don't know how long the TV deal was this time.
Okay. Well, but, then
why do they care? I think just both things are true. If I explain to you the All-Star game, I think both of these ways of describing the All-Star game are true. I could describe it the way you're describing it. Mm-hmm. These are the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. They're the competitive beasts. They should want to defeat each other. They should want to try. They should want to promote the game. They should want to bring a sense of fun and wonder for all viewers, and they should want to test their mettle against the best of the best.
Right.
Could be true.
Yep.
Second statement. It's an exhibition game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count for anything. They're tired from the season. They might have just played in the Olympics, and if they're a star, they probably did. They'd like to make a deep playoff run. The NBA is much harder to play in now in terms of, especially the defensive side. So why risk getting injured for a thing I'm not getting paid extra for, I'm losing vacation for, this could be the time I'm resting for, and it doesn't matter at all in any way. So why should I try? I mean, I think
steaks.
both of those are true.
There needs to be steaks.
Oh, come on.
There are no stakes.
There are no
I know.
stakes. There never
Except
will be
for point
stakes.
of pride, there are no stakes.
When you're offering somebody $1 million who's already sitting on a very large pile of money, like it doesn't matter. I mean, we had Joe
That's
Dumars.
an interesting idea, JD. They should all sit on a pile of money that represents the size of their maybe either current salary or career earnings.
Yeah.
So like LeBron would just be like way higher than it, sitting up way higher than everyone else.
That's
That'd
right.
be fun.
That's right.
No, he didn't even show up actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So, anyways, whatever. I mean, I'm just an old man.
So you had
at a
fun.
cloud. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's always more interesting when the guys are complaining about stuff. And look, the dunk contest was good. Thanks to Mac McClung. And the 3-point was the 3-point, and the skills was hilarious. Did you watch it at all?
No, I didn't watch it.
Wembanyama and Chris Paul just basically tried to game the system, and they just tossed. They didn't even shoot the ball. You know how if you miss the ball, like your 3 attempts, you just move on to the next thing. So they just chucked the ball 1, 2, 3, and then just ran to the next station. Chuck 1, 2, 3.
Wait, he game the system for a thing that doesn't matter
Exactly.
at all.
And then they got disqualified, and it was hilarious. And it made it the best skill contest ever, really. So anyway,
The interesting thing is it seemed to be so bad that people were starting to turn on the beloved TNT crew, which is pretty funny.
well, TNT, as Skeet said on Sunday night, I mean, part of the debacle of Sunday night was their fault. I mean, most of our crowd are NBA people, so they probably know, but they had a mini tournament instead of a game. And to sort of pad the 3-hour runtime, they hired Kevin Hart and they brought in Mr. Beast, and they had all these musical acts in between, which I don't blame them for, because the last few All-Stars have been so atrocious that I want to be tap dancing as much as possible and trying to keep eyeballs on the screen in a way. But also we did actually have little spurts of the players actually trying to play the game, and just the whole night just fell flat. I mean, just watching the reaction
I
live,
can't believe, based on seeing Kevin Hart at Checks Notes every All-Star game I've ever been to, 9 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised he wasn't good. He just put together such a good resume. It's like proof of concepts for the past, years when he was there. He came on as a mailman, I think, when they were promoting Jumanji or something.
Yeah.
And he just crushes it every year. So I'm just so surprised it didn't work out when they gave him more to do.
Picking up on your
Mr. Beast do?
sarcasm. He had it was like a contest, and sort of in the middle of everything, he had a contest, and it was kind of a cool challenge in a way. A fan was up against Dame Lillard. They were both center court, and they each had to sink 3 baskets from center court before he had to beat Dame. So he had to do it before Dame did. And so it was just, them chucking up balls. And it was for $100,000. I mean, that
Was
part
Dame
of it,
trying, or was he like, I don't want to look like an asshole?
That's that exactly. He's in an impossible situation, right? Because I think
Mr. Beast, he thinks of everything.
I think he was like, because it's not like Dame was gonna get 100,000 if he beat this poor schmuck, like.
How long do you want to do this for?
Yeah. Ash was saying you could see them on the shot clock on the basket. You could see them counting down to commercial, and it's like 3 minutes, 2 minutes. It's like, okay, well, this can't end now. Because then we got to tap dance.
So did it push past the 3 minutes?
I don't know actually, but anyways, the guy won, so that's good. I think he won. Anyways, who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
Who
cares? It's Thursday. The All-Star game was Sunday, just like last week. We don't want to talk about the Super Bowl. We ended up talking about the Super Bowl. At least the All-Star game, you're allowed to say that you didn't. It wasn't your favorite thing of all time.
Yeah.
Speaking of something else you're allowed to criticize, SNL.
Yeah.
What did you think of the festivities again? Here we are to give you your news 4 days later.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like an all-star weekend in general. Like it felt everything was like celebratory, the superstars, the legends were out to play. And I watched all of it. I watched all of the docs. I watched the entire concert. Rachel and I watched it. And I watched.
Stayed awake the whole time.
Yeah, I was surprised and watched the entire SNL50 and A+ from me. Honestly, like.
I got to agree with you. I guess the one thing I would say is I kind of loved the whole thing, and I was in awe of the production of it. Just the travel, like getting everyone there, and the wrangling, and the hair, and the makeup, and doing everything for the first time. Because for the Sunday show, there was no dress, so they were just like throwing people up there, and the audio and the video. I mean, I was just blown away by the size of the production. And making it look pretty. I mean, there were some flubs on Sunday show, but who cares?
That's the fun of it, right? Like that's the live aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a favorite moment, Matt?
Well, hold on. I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna rank them all, but really quickly because
but before you do that, I just wanted to say that I loved it and I really enjoyed watching it. That being said, was it funny? Very few things.
Really?
I thought very funny. But, that didn't take away from my enjoyment because I don't think it was supposed to be like, we are going to put, like, this is the preeminent comedy show in, the last century of America, and we're going to make sure that you walk away saying, this is the funniest thing of all. I mean, I just don't really feel like that was the goal.
Right. I'm with you. It felt like kind of almost like a staff party. You know what I mean? That we were invited to. %
because, like, in a sense, like, do I give a shit who, pulls people from one sketch to another? Not really, but they honored that person because they've known that person for decades.
Yeah.
Or like the talent booker, or the hair and makeup person, or the wardrobe person,
Sure.
Or the person that holds the cue cards. I understand for them, like, kind of just like when we worked on a TV show for a much shorter period of time than 50 years, but you get to know these people because you spend so much time off camera with them, and no one ever gets to see them, and no one ever gets to appreciate the things they do to make this show seamless and a success. And it's great that they, pointed them out. But is that for me? Not really. It's for them to be like, here, take your flowers, and you deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Tony joke was for you, not from Michael Shea.
Yeah.
A lot of Tonys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so let's hear the ranking.
Okay, so yesterday on No Dunks, we ranked our top, all of the teams, 30 NBA teams, tiers. So C, B, A, and S. What does S tier mean? S is the best.
S tier is
why is it S?
The kids are saying
this is what the kids.
There is a reason. I forget what it is now.
Okay, so I'm going to go from C to S, okay? And see if you agree. Okay, C.
Sigma. Is it Sigma? I'll look it up.
Oh, Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf. Yes. Okay, C tier. I'll just name them all. Stagehand, that's the Lorraine Newman with Chad.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Didn't love it.
Hold on.
C is the worst. It's the worst. Okay, take it easy. Deep Thoughts. Get out of here.
No.
I love Deep Thoughts. It wasn't a good one.
Wasn't a good one.
Okay.
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. And Alien Abduction. Now, this is me. Now, Meryl Streep couldn't even save this. And neither could Woody, and neither could Pedro. I just do not like this sketch. I've never liked it.
I hate this so much because it is, like everyone's shit, like, it's like, oh, all comedy now on the internet is just memes. Like, this is a meme. This is a living 100%. Meme. It is a box.
Yep.
I mean, and there's a game to it, and you have to sit there, and you see them in the Pentagon room, and you see John Hamm dressed up as the general, and then you have to go deep sigh and look at your watch and wait for the first person to go, I was bathed in a golden light.
So
then wait for the second person to say the same thing. Then we're going to cut to the left, and there she is, Kate McKinnon, and she's going to say, my cooter and my tutor, and for that one joke, you're going to have to then go back and hear the other people's perspective, and it's so laborious. Now, that being said, I do think Meryl saved it because she's never been on the show before.
Exactly.
And she's in this loose-fitting t-shirt and her riding up and her belly is there.
Oh, yeah.
And a classic SNL example of like, the guest is not rehearsed, not reading the cue cards and flubbing the lines, but you're still like, I guess I was just being like, good job to you, Meryl Streep, for being a silly person.
Yeah. Sorry, Rachel, you were saying it was tedious?
I was just saying I enjoy a good cooter joke, but you can really
not a surprise to anyone
you can
listening.
kill it. you can kill it and beat it to death, and not in a good way. And every time it's just like, why are you still doing it? It doesn't make any sense. It's so tired.
I think it kills in Studio 8H, and I don't know. It's beloved.
Is it just because of
Kate McKinnon is beloved?
Kate McKinnon is beloved.
And whatever. I mean, we could be wrong about this, but I definitely popped when Meryl came on. It was like, oh my God, it's Meryl Streep. And she broke. It was like she was reading the cue cards for the first time, like the things that were coming out of her mouth. So she was tickled about that. And I thought Woody and Pedro were fine in it. Yeah. Like it was almost like such a relief when we went back to Woody and Pedro, like who were funny, but they're just there to set up Kate, and then it's just like, all right, here we go. Like. Once you cross that line, it doesn't matter what she says after a while. Anyways, that's my C tier. That's only 3 sketches, and one of them was Deep Thought. So we're doing very well, I think.
I agree.
Right? Okay, B tier. The Domingo thing, the wedding, with Martin Short. Ooh. A bit long, but I did laugh at some parts. Molly Shannon, goddamn national treasure. So good.
I wonder if they felt like a little, not forced into it, but when they had, because that's a recurring sketch, and they had Sabrina Carpenter who sings Espresso. So last time I think it was Ariana Grande doing it.
Right.
And so they're like, well, we have the actual person now, shouldn't we do it? And it's a way to get a lot of people in. Yeah. And I guess Marcelo is like the breakout star, but not.
It was a good way to showcase the current cast other than Bowen, because otherwise I don't think any of them were really in anything other than supporting. And by the way, shout out to what's her name, Sharon Carpenter.
Sabrina.
Sharon Carpenter is HQ trivia.
Version. Sharon. I don't know she'd be that popular from the first name was Sharon.
Whatever.
Did you think she sounded good with Paul Simon at the start?
Fucking awesome. And I love that.
I thought she sounded great.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I got hints of Dolly there.
Oh yeah, Dolly Parton for sure. And she was great in that sketch because she sang terribly.
Yeah.
That's Ariana did the same thing.
Okay, I haven't seen Ariana's version, but Sabrina was great. I thought she was funny, and
she's what a delight.
Now,
what do you think about opening the show with, a real downer? I mean, I know they've done it before, and I know Paul Simon is Lorne's best friend. But it's just an interesting thing. Like if you're like, all right, we want to come in with some energy, like, yeah, but the show starts twice anyways, because that happened, then they do the Steve Martin thing and whatever.
If you want my honest opinion, if I was producing the show, I would flip the end in the beginning, and I would end with Paul Simon and start the show with Paul McCartney, because it was at Homeward Bound. It was just sort of a bit of a tearjerker.
True, and a New York guy, but then again, the Abbey Road medley that Paul McCartney did ends with, and in the end, the love you make is equal to the love you take. So.
Yeah, true. But it's just more of a banger, like.
Yeah,
sure. But sure. Okay. But anyways, okay. So that was where are we? We're on B block. I said I was going to do this quickly. All right. Bill Murray's ranking.
You haven't done anything else this week. So
you're right.
What are you in such a rush to move on for?
Let's milk this.
I know that if I say, okay, what else you got? You're going to do a long pause, and then you're going to say, well, I did play pickleball this week.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to hear about that.
No.
Okay, Bill Murray's ranking of Weekend Update hosts.
Yeah, okay.
It was kind of cute. The best thing about it was Colin next to him waiting, the bit is him waiting to be named, at which he never gets named. But it was fine. Drunk Uncle and a woman who you don't want to start a conversation with, also on the B tier. They're fine. I don't know.
I like them. I like them.
Listen, I'm not saying that I'm not liking them. I'm forcing myself to rank these. So it was cute. I was never bored. Also on the B tier, you may be surprised, Lonely Island, Anxiety, the cast Anxiety.
This was a big miss for me.
Really? Yeah, okay.
Production on the song was great, and amazing. I actually rewatched it, and I was like, this is very, very catchy, and like everything Lonely Island does is so well done. What is the joke? Like, I mean, just as for instance, Bill Hader wasn't there, and seemingly the reason that he was not there is he has said that he has bad anxiety and bad stage performance.
Stage fright.
Stage fright. Thank you. Bad stage performance. Mm-hmm. Do you mean stage fright? No, I think I said it right the first time.
No, he has great stage performance. It's the stage fright that's a problem.
Yeah, was this in some way a nod to that, or just now within it there were two good jokes that they all have IBS, and they're like, we were like young, good-looking people, but right before midnight or 11. Wait, what time is the show on?
11:30.
11:30. We were all taking massive dumps.
Right.
And the pipes can barely handle it. And that is a funny joke because that is just true. And it's just a funny concept that everyone's like super polished, but we were all just running from the bathroom.
Right.
And then there was another, the other joke of like, oh, well, it's not like working in a coal mine. And then Andy Samberg's like, I'll tell you a secret though. It's worse than working in a coal mine.
That was good.
You got to deal with Lorne. And that's funny too. That should have been the whole song of like, oh, we're just making you laugh and it's not that serious. But it's so deathly serious that it's actually harder than working in a... But the anxiety part was just like, quote unquote, real. Like they were just stating in a fun way that they're anxious.
Right.
And I was like, well, why do we care? Like, why is that important? I didn't really understand that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in agreement here.
Banger, though.
It's a banger. Yeah, they're very good at writing songs. And the production was amazing, obviously. Okay, we're on to the A tier now. These are not any particular order. These are all tied for A tier, okay? Lorne's Best Friends. I like this bit. It's Vanessa Bayer and Fred Armisen and talking about how great Lorne is. And then they go down to the whispery voice and say, well, actually... he's kind of a dick. And
are those characters like do they always do that?
I feel like I've seen them do it before. I don't know if they were specifically Lorne's best friends. I've never seen the Canadian outfits that they had on. But
at first I was like, are they about to do a Strange Brew parody?
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, they kind of dressed them up like that. All right, anyways, yeah, I was good with that. Fred got a lot of run this weekend.
Yep, he absolutely did. Okay, Debbie Downer. Fucking love that sketch. I always have.
Oh, I found that tedious.
Did you? Okay. Well, I was just happy to see Dratch get her due, and I just love the camera move and the horn. Although the camera little sticky on the wah wah, but I like that sketch. Lawrence Welk, the Small Hands. I can't remember the character's name.
This is a D tier for me.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
I love Goulet.
Yeah.
Love Goulet. Mm-hmm. But Goulet was not working at the peak of his powers.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was good. I liked it. I was entertained, and I love the weirdness of that. And I love that it's framed in Lawrence Welk. I've always loved that about that sketch.
Okay.
But, fair enough. The final one in A tier is Bronx Beat with the Coffee Talk mashup.
Oh, really? See, I thought this one was lame. Like they had Miles Teller there, and it was almost like they didn't know they were going to have him.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm with you there.
And then they brought on Linda Richman, Mike Myers, which was great to see him, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I was happy to see Mike. I was waiting for Mike the whole night, basically, and then he showed up. So maybe that's why I thought I'm ranking it higher.
Right.
And that's kind of what I said at the start. It was like, it almost wasn't designed to be as funny as possible. I mean, it sounds stupid because I'm sure of course they wanted it to be funny, but you know what they wanted more was it to be like a feel-good fun fest of like, here's all your friends.
Sure.
They're back.
Yeah.
And so we got to get Linda Richmond somewhere. Bronx Beat's similar. I'd rather just have her in than think of, is this the funniest person to be here right now?
Did you just finish your list?
Nope.
Oh, I was going to say like...
That's only A tier. There's S tier, the best tier, coming up.
Yes,
right now.
Yes, thank you. I'm like, what is happening? Who are you?
I don't even know you, man.
Jesus.
Okay, S tier. There's quite a few on here that's still on the table. Black Jeopardy, fucking amazing. Like,
okay, explain the end.
Okay, I can't, and almost because of the. Now, if you didn't watch it, I don't know. You probably haven't even listened this far into the podcast, but
we just ranked 15 sketches and only now getting to the "if you didn't see it" disclaimer.
But midway through, or close to the end of the sketch, Eddie Murphy's in it, playing Tracy Morgan. next to Tracy Morgan, who's playing just a dude.
Darius?
Darius is the character's name. Leslie Jones is in it as well. And Eddie Murphy just disappears, and we cut to Tom Hanks, who has been in a Black Jeopardy sketch before, but with no explanation. He's just all of a sudden there.
Just
like
a sub.
So I don't know if it's just lazy writing or they're just like, we got to get Tom Hanks in there. Let's do a whole thing, an explanation of why he's there, and they cut it. Like they just cut it for time or something. I don't fucking know. I can't explain it, and because of that, it almost got pushed down to A tier. But
push it down, JD. We can't have everything in the S tier. Push it down.
No, because
look at the integrity this man has.
Because listen, Eddie Murphy doing Tracy Morgan next to Tracy Morgan, who was like annoyed with his own personality, is just comedy gold to me. As just the fucking, I was dead, and I haven't laughed that hard at SNL in a long, long time. So it's got to be S tier. I'm sorry, and it's the great Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And seeing Eddie Murphy in sketches again, oh my god, like he's back, right? I mean, it was just incredible.
The peak was when he was like, "Yeah, I don't see it."
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, you might be related. Okay.
Can I just say, how there's like a class of people that are just consuming basketball through podcasting and they're not watching any games? Maybe we could be that for SNL. If you don't watch SNL,
no,
we'll pop over we'll record on Sunday. We'll just describe all the sketches to you.
I am not watching SNL every week. I'm sorry, I can't. But listen, like I have watched a few episodes of this season, and this is what it felt like this whole weekend. This whole season, I felt like I've been at an amateur, like an open mic night at a comedy club, and then all of a sudden, John Mulaney comes up and does a tight 20. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're just I'm in the hands of a pro. And now this is not necessarily to throw shade at the current cast. I think they're a young cast and they're just finding their legs still. And we're talking about Hall of Famers, legends, who did it for 7, 8, 11 years. You can't compete with that. S tier. We have Black Jeopardy, Broadway medley. John Mulaney's jaw. Do you want to address that real quick? Like, what's going on there?
His jaw?
Yeah. Did you notice he kind of looks different? His jaw looks like twice the size as it used to.
He looks like he had some jaw. Surgery.
Some jaw work?
I had to pause it. It was one of those. When he came on screen during the monologue, Rachel could not stop talking about his jaw, so I had to pause it and just let her get it all out.
Like, I can't focus on anything but his enormous jaw now. What is happening?
Zac Efron is been somewhat talked about for having a giant jaw.
Well,
but I did not know that Mulaney went Efron mode.
Well, I don't know. Efron says he had an accident, right? Like,
an accident, but now I have a Superman jawline. Okay, that's...
I'm just saying.
A lot of men would like to find...
You think he wants that, Rachel? It was an accident.
Okay, anyway... The Broadway medley, I love this sketch every time it comes on. Mulaney does it every time it comes on. I'm a little bit of a musical geek, as you know, so I thought it was fun and weird and very Mulaney. And, seeing Driver dressed up in a hot dog costume just made me laugh. Like,
This is max B tier for me.
B tier, okay, fair enough.
Because
sorry.
Rachel, you B tier for you?
I'm sorry. This just reminded me of the other thing that I loved of Adam Driver and Julia Louis.
Well, I'm getting there.
Well, that's not a sketch.
Yes, it is. It's A tier.
He's ranking everything, Rachel.
He's ranking
everything. The Weekend Update people separately from each other, which is he could have just said Weekend Update. B tier.
That's right.
He went granular.
Okay.
I do, again, also have a soft spot for musicals, and I love Mulaney, and I loved his Netflix show. So I'm super excited that's coming back. I like these things. I think they're better when it's about a specific thing, like the lobster, the lobster in the diner thing, which they call back to at the end of this thing on Sunday. This is just about like New York writ large. And first of all, an energy I really have never liked is like, hey man, you talking smack about New York, you can never keep the Big Apple down. It's like always like aggressively yelling at you about how you're talking shit, and you're like looking, and you're like, I didn't say anything about New York. Why are you getting so angry at me? And I thought a lot of the thing, like the shame, I was like, okay. And then like suddenly e-bikes to suddenly Seymour I was like, all right.
Okay, yeah.
And I just defined it like that, like, and now New York's expensive. And I'm like, I don't know. Are you the people that should be giving me this message? Like, anyway, it's like, we should give New York one more day. Like, were we not? Anyways, I don't know. It just, the theme of it, I didn't really.
Well, the theme of it,
other than it's New York is SNL, SNL's New York.
Exactly. And it starts in 1975 and it goes to the present. It's 50 years of New York. I don't know. And you got to write about something.
Yeah.
So e-bikes is going to come up, I guess. And the price of things. Anyways, I thought it was...
Now, this had the two best jokes in the whole show, though. That being said.
Let me guess. My favorite thing was Spade bowing out and saying, I got the gist,
Yeah.
When he sits
yeah,
there.
I got a feel for it.
I feel for it.
In a perfect Spade voice.
Yeah.
That was the biggest laugh. And then the other one was Sarah Sherman just has one line as Bloomberg. And I think he's like... And then Mayor Bloomberg came along and did a lot for the city. And then she goes like, in terms of how unaffordable it became. And then Mulaney goes, great impression.
Yeah, that was great.
But it's funny because the two funniest jokes are both jokes playing against the reality that the sketch is setting up, right? Like, they're basically pointing out, oh, you are watching a sketch. Like when he says, oh, you did a shit calling attention to her shit accent, which again is funny. And then Spade calling attention to like, all right, this is a musical. I get it. I'm not, this is a bit lame, but they're so fine. But yeah, I think it kind of says something that the two funniest things are just not in service of the premise or the sketch. They're resisting the sketch and pointing out to you that it's not real, but still.
Okay. Funny. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a spectacle. It's always a spectacle. And it's fun to hear the music. Anyways. Okay. Next one, Scared Straight. You got Eddie Murphy, you got Will Ferrell, you got Sudeikis, you got Keenan, and you got the young cast there, and the old cast yelling at the young cast, and just fun lines, recreating the movies and stuff. Again, Eddie Murphy just never lost it. I don't think he's just the fucking greatest, and I thoroughly enjoyed that sketch.
It was good.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's fine. It's just, again, falls in this trap of it's just like, it only works because of celebrity, and now they're saying the movies that they were in, and it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's just, doesn't tickle me, but.
Okay.
I would say it was one of the better, like, sketches.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, not including the musicals and the Q&As and the songs and all that stuff.
All right, Q&A is next. Tina and Amy. I just thought it was great. And
they did a good job with this one. This was good. And a good way to get people. And John Lovitz.
Oh, God, that's the funniest moment.
I need more John Lovitz.
Yeah.
Like, was someone going to put him in? Is like a Quentin Tarantino or something going to be brave and be like, I am going to be responsible for resurrecting the career of John Lovitz? Because he has the rare ability of, it's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. And he can read the phone book and make it funny. And that is such a rare quality.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was the funniest part of the whole thing for me, was that 1 second shot of John Lovitz. It was great. And, it was a great way to sort of work the room. A little distracting seeing all the celebrities around because you're like, oh, my God, there's Larry David. And Rachel, you talked about the Adam Driver, just the smoldering intensity. It was so funny. So funny.
Yeah, he's great. He's so funny.
Oh, my God. Amazing. And then the last thing is the Sandler's tribute. Again.
Number one. I think that's the only thing in my S tier, but I thought that was just couldn't have been more perfect. Yeah,
it's sweet. It's, again, pointing out members of the crew and just almost maybe that should have been the end of the show. Nothing against Paul McCartney or anything. But yeah, it was great. So like how long was it? 3 hours?
It was 3 hours plus.
Wow.
Which is how long this podcast discussing it's going to be. Now, I think the Sandler thing encapsulated the whole night so perfectly because it was sweeter than it was funnier. Mm-hmm. It was, there was comedy in it for sure. It wasn't like I'm dying on the floor laughing, but it was funny. It was sweet. And it was, again, like you said, recognizing various former cast members, crew members, but like it was so inside jokey, but partly because we've ad nauseum learned about the process of SNL and how the week runs and the guest hosts and all this stuff. But like also like there was a line, I forget how he actually phrased it, but it was like 50 years of cast members being like, I'm about to go give Lorne a piece of my mind, and then chickening out at the last second and knitting a scarf for Alice.
Right.
Did I know that Lorne Michaels' wife's name is Alice? No, but I'm like, you immediately get it, and you know what I mean? It's like an inside joke, but one that we can all take part in, which is the best case scenario for that. And he did the mini in memoriam, so it just hit every note. It was like about the 50 years, honoring cast, honoring those that have passed, being funny, being cute. I mean, and Sandler playing guitar. But it was just like, he met the moment so perfectly.
Yeah. Yep. So anyways, I thought they did it as good a job as they possibly could have done for the Sunday night thing. And then the Saturday night, did you watch any of the concert?
I did watch the concert.
That's right. That was Friday.
Wasn't that Friday?
Friday night. My bad. Friday. Yeah. Bangers throughout, I thought. I have only one note. The B-52s did like a 10-minute version of Love Shack. You could have done 3 songs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just dragged on, I thought.
They were great, though. I thought they were great. I mean, the oldies. The older people were good. I mean, Devo was great.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone has to play with the Roots, you know? Like, I mean, Eddie Vedder had to play with the Roots, but then Jack White's like, no, I'm fucking bringing my band, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good, I understand for ease. You know,
I hear you.
Step up there.
I hear what you're saying.
He did the Elvis Costello thing, which was a little cute little nod.
Yeah.
David Byrne was very present.
Very present.
Oh, okay. Arcade Fire. Whoa. Okay, they're back. I guess.
Yeah, they're back.
And you know whatever is happening with them, but reminds you, "Wake Up" is one of the quintessential songs of that period of the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing fucking song.
Yep.
Now, did you find the ending extraordinarily awkward?
Yeah. The ending of Wake Up.
Yeah, when the second line band, the Preservation Hall band,
right?
Like the song ended, everyone was like, "Oh my god, we forgot how amazing that song was," and David Byrne's here.
Right.
And then it ends, and then the band was supposed to pick up, but so that the first awkwardness was it looked like it actually ended.
Right.
And then they followed the second line band down the stage, down the stairs, through the crowd, but by that point, it's just Win Butler's voice was completely shot, so he could not do the and it was like almost too silent.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, you should have ended on a high note when you had it, and now you are committed to this walking through the audience bit, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they forgot we were supposed to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it
100%.
was just like song ends and like, oh crap. So anyway, and you see like an usher at one point going, "Go this way. You got to go this way." The steady cabs going.
Are you looking
backwards.
for the bathroom?
Yeah, it was awkward. There were some awkward vamping moments. I mean, but that like the absolute highlight of the weekend for me was the Marty and Bobby Culp, Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer's characters as the teachers who do the covers, and they destroyed. They killed like my favorite thing that I watched all weekend.
As you're saying that, I must have skipped that.
You skipped that?
Must have been a little heavy-handed on the Apple TV. Where it's not easy to stop, JD.
You were in.
You know how much I've complained about it. You know how much of this weekend I've been going. Fast forward 2 minutes. Fast forward 30 seconds. Rewind.
Oh, go back and watch it. They do Not Like Us. Full lyrics, like everything.
Well, it was a big medley.
Right, but that was in it, and it was goddamn hilarious. And they just go watch it. My favorite thing of the weekend.
How come no one else was expecting Miley Cyrus to rip a picture of some sort for Nothing Compares to You?
You were expecting her to rip up a picture of somebody? Someone
that a lot of people hate right now. I was expecting that.
Oh, that actually, that would have been at least interesting. But I don't know. There's a lot of like people aren't super happy about that because they did not stand by Sinead when she ripped the picture of the Pope.
No.
Well,
So
okay, yes.
now they're like, now that everyone's like, oh, we've realized that the Catholic Church has done some bad things and realized that was actually a really brave thing of her to do considering what had happened to her as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to honor it as this brave, strong moment when they kind of shat all over it at the time.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do?
It would have been fun if she had
done
ripped
something.
somebody,
Even if it was a fucking picture of a fucking cartoon
Lorne Michaels.
character. Something.
Oh, Lorne Michaels. I mean, that would have been funny. Now, you know what? I actually want to ask you this. So they're doing the good nights, right? Same as they always do.
Yeah.
And Martin Short's up there kind of doing like, oh, we want to thank this person, that person. And then at the very end, Lorne comes up. What struck me was he was not happy. Like, and I don't mean like he wasn't laughing. Mm-hmm. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't like, fuck, we did it. We pulled this off. Not just the last 50 years, but this amazing weekend, you know, with 6 hours of live programming and all these stars and celebrities. He looked sad. Yeah. Now, you could say sad in a sense of like wistful, like thinking about all the memories and the people that had passed. And it's just interesting that like in that moment of triumph, he was very almost mournful.
Yeah.
Maybe he's shattered from the lead up to it.
I'm sure there's so many reasons. Like I'm not even saying I expected him to walk up there with like a megawatt smile and be high-fiving everyone and being like, we did it. But it was just interesting because I think it's a show about comedy, but it takes a lot to produce it. Yeah. And I think he was just like probably more thinking of like, man, wow, this has been crazy and intense for the last 50 years, more so than, boy, did you all make me laugh, you know? Which is just, it's just interesting that in this moment of triumph, it's just like you want people to be happy, but you're like, that isn't really the way it generally is it? You're thinking of other things. You might be fucking think I got to do this again next week.
Maybe he's going to retire, and maybe he hasn't let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, God, he's never retiring.
Yeah, he says he's not retiring.
The moment that I found pretty sad was seeing Chris Kattan at the end. Like, I didn't know that he had broken his neck on stage at SNL, and I see him, and he's walking like his vertebrae are fused, and you thought he was Michael J. Fox.
I did, yeah. I thought,
I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with Chris Kattan? What is going on? And he's very fused. But apparently that happened, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't.
He says it happened on the show, and he never said anything about it.
Who never said, like the show never said anything about it?
Kattan never said anything about it. Like he flew back in a chair, injured himself, but never said, I'm hurt or anything, and just sort of dealt with it. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Was that in one of your little documentaries?
No,
just looked it up on the internet after. I was like, what happened to him?
And I literally thought it was just one really quick shot, so I thought, oh, Michael J. Fox is there. Is it him? He doesn't look good if it's Michael J. Fox. And it was Chris Kattan. It was like much younger than Michael J. Fox, so I think. But anyway.
Congratulations to you. I mean, in all seriousness, not just the 50 years of doing it, but like 6 hours of live programming in a weekend when barely could rehearse because it's all the most in-demand celebrities. It was so goddamn impressive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. An incredible achievement. And it's what I wished NBA All-Star was. You bring out the legends.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And you give it everything. Mm-hmm. Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy, Molly Shannon, they left it all on the court last night.
They don't do it every year, though.
They would.
But this is their Super Bowl, though, like an actually competitive, nuts on the table kind of event.
I mean, was anybody paid last night? I mean,
no.
Yeah.
But it's pride, baby.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Pride. You want to do well in the All-Star game. You want to do well at SNL50.
Yeah,
55,
a thing that literally
60.
happens once every 50 years, not once every year.
It happens once every 5 years, let's be honest. They'll do 55.
And we'll be there to recap.
It's like they could do it. They could do it every year. I want them, after last night, I want them to do it every year because there's so much left on the table. Dana Carvey didn't show up. You can convince Bill to come out. Bill Hader, I mean. you know, there's.
I don't understand. Why no Dana Carvey?
I don't know.
He's already on the show anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's been doing stuff this year. He has a podcast about SNL. Very weird.
Justin Timberlake probably would have been great if he was there.
Oh yeah, that's true. He wasn't there.
Oh, that was a great part of the concert as well. Was Gaga and Sandberg doing "Dick in the Box" and that whole medley, and Eddie Vedder doing the Michael Bolton part. It was great. It was fun. It was just great.
God, Eddie Vedder. You know, if you were alive in the 90s, there became a thing about how everyone sounded the same. Like all the grunge singers, they were doing like later called a Herm Jarl, that sound.
Yes.
Many grunge bands were doing that voice, that vocal affectation.
Yeah.
So in a sense, like, it might be lost that when you hear Eddie Vedder now, one of the greatest rock vocalists of all time.
Oh yeah.
Just the character and timbre of his voice and the power in it is just astounding. He sounds amazing.
Yeah. And still.
Yeah. Good for you, Eddie Vedder. Send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I guess I made a pitch for the Patreon earlier, patreon.com/isthisgood. But you'll get the greater goods. You'll see JD eating some chocolate and not knowing what popcorn is. You will get a free episode every month in addition to those, and that's coming out next week, so now's the time to subscribe. You're going to get ad-free episodes. You're going to get a hangout, which is...
Well, we had it already.
We just had it, so
you're
a little late on that one.
Well, but with another one's coming up in less than a month.
The months keep coming, don't they?
They keep on coming.
They just keep on coming. And Fastbender February is almost over. So just get to it,
Gonna miss you, Michael.
Nope. Has nothing to do with it. Again, fast space bender.
Right.
Because we only got 28 days.
What do we got up for, coming up for March?
I don't like to say.
Oh, okay.
I like to be in a panic just right before it. And I go, oh, what am I calling this thing? And that's when my true inspiration, like Fastbender February, comes. Okay. What, you think I could have thought of that in advance?
No, listen, no. And also, I just want to give you a reminder that March Madness is probably got a trademark or whatever.
Yeah.
So we might not be able to use that. So I just want to put that on your radar. What
if I just call it March Madness but refuse to acknowledge it has anything to do with, like, I convince myself that I came up with it?
Yeah. Okay.
That's something to think about. Hey, and by the way, this show is finally useful.
Oh, great.
Yeah, finally. I know. I want to thank Andrew for telling me about this hard drive company that recovers data.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give them a plug because I paid for it. Whatever. But $300 data recovery. As I said, I sent in my hard drive to the company that Apple told me to send it to. They quoted me $2,400. I'm not even sure if that was including tax.
Wow.
I said no. They were like, we could do it for maybe $18. I was like, no. And then they were finally like, well, maybe like $1,200. And I was still like, no. I got all of my data recovered for $500, and that's including a 2 terabyte hard drive that they gave me to put the stuff on.
Wow. Damn.
I'd saved like, in theory, $2,000 thanks to Andrew and this podcast.
Nice.
That's why I recommend everyone start a podcast. So you can complain about bad things that are happening to you, like losing all your data and your precious podcast you did with your grandmother. And then you just have a much wider pool of people to give you good advice. Because your friends don't know anything.
You're right.
Mine don't.
Right. It's a great way to, if you're going to have a midlife crisis as well, as Kyle Ayers on our last episode was saying, start a podcast. Buy a car, start a podcast.
Buy a car, start a podcast. All right, this was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next